What's up, everybody? Uh, let's have a talk today. Um, I was sitting here contemplating. Actually, I've been contemplating over the last couple of days, but um, contemplating some text messages that I sent last year to a friend, or to multiple friends, as well as my family, about what is happening now. I don't remember the dreams specifically, but I did remember the messages that came from the dreams. The first dream I had was in June, where I knew that there was going to be a lack of food and supplies and all of these kinds of things. And so I told everyone that I text this to make sure that they had supplies, that they had food saved up, that they had what they needed. And that was that, right? But the second text message that I sent out was in September 20th to be exact, of last year, 2019. And the message was a little different. It was still very ominous, still very much a warning, still very much letting people know something is coming. But the message was that the fashion or the way in which we would survive whatever is coming, and I still do believe more is coming, that coronavirus is not it. Part of it, but not it. But I knew when I woke up from the dream that our ancestors were attempting to contact us. At first I thought it was just my ancestors and my family, right? But I've since learned that I have quite a connection to ancestral work, more than the average person. And that the message I was receiving was more widespread than just my own bloodline or my own family. And this message was that they were awakening in us these spiritual gifts. I know that a lot of us are probably beginning to experience certain things that are unexplainable to us, that don't make sense to us, but we know we are actually experiencing them. And those things may be frightening, but there's polarity to everything. There's good and bad, light and dark, masculine and feminine, all of that to everything, including our spiritual gifts. And so we can say, oh, this is a curse, I shouldn't be able to experience this, but then there's also the gift side of it versus the curse, where even in my own experience, I'm realizing these dreams that I have, these visions that I have, this connection to the ancestors that I have, has been quite enlightening. The fact that I was able to see certain things that I have seen before they ever happened, years, months, weeks, decades, even in some cases. I thought it was just me having a dream. But then, things start to take shape. And so I guess I'm coming to you all with this message to say, and I just got off the phone with a good friend where I was sharing the same message, but more obviously tailor-made for him. But the message is that your gifts are not arising. These unexplainable gifts are not arising out of nowhere for no reason. These unexplainable spiritual gifts are not awakening in you out of nowhere. It is intentional. These gifts are passed down by your genetics. They're passed down by your bloodline. They're passed down by the stars. But when you understand the correlation and the connection between the stars and your genetics, you understand that the stars are also tied to your ancestors. That these gifts that we have, especially the ones that are more developed in us, right? They're developed because they have been developing for quite some time, not just this lifetime that you live, but they have been developing over several lifetimes. They've been developing in whichever ancestor that you were reborn as, partially. They've been developed. They've been built upon, right? And you're actually building upon it even more. And after you die and you come back in another body with another name, or your descendant comes back holding your essence, right? Your spirit. They'll have what you added to this gift, what the ancestor before you added to this gift, what the ancestor before them added to this gift. It's like building a house brick by brick, right? But every lifetime we are adding to these gifts. Every lifetime we are realizing more in this realm. We are practicing these gifts more in this realm. And so these gifts, these things that we've been practicing for so long, that our ancestors have passed down to us through our bloodlines, through our genetics, through the astrological or cosmic influences, these things are extremely, I can't say this enough, extremely important to our survival in this time. This is the message that I received, and it was very clear. It was very clear. And to the logical, practical, scientific mind, I'll say more European scientific mind, this might not make any sense. But the way we will survive, remember that you heard this today, okay? March 23rd, 2020. The way that we will survive in this time, in this transition period from one kind of society to another, is through our spiritual gifts. You cannot see them. You cannot prove them unless someone experiences you utilizing that gift in person or utilizing it on them, right? A lot of people don't believe in energy healing until they experience energy healing. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's a spiritual gift, right? But I just have to say that our ancestors are not awakening these gifts. They haven't been building these gifts in us for no reason. They haven't been trying to get our attention for no reason. I've been getting messages here, like, it's just coming, right? One after the other. From my own ancestors and from other people's ancestors, I'm learning. It's not for no reason. It's for us to master these skills just like we master our earthly skills. Just like I've learned to drive this truck. Just like you've learned to work in whatever field that you work in. Just like you've learned to grow plants. Just like you've learned to shoot a gun. Whatever skills you have. Just like you've learned to be an electrician or to sell cars or, to do data entry. Whatever the skill, whatever the gift that you have, it is paramount. It is important. It is extremely important that we master these gifts, that we step into the parts of us that we have been afraid of. Some of us are afraid, some of us are not. But a lot of us have been hindering our development because we're not focused on these things, and myself included. And so I guess what I'm saying is to focus your attention, focus your energy on developing your gifts, developing the things that your X-Men abilities, right? Your superhero abilities. Because those are the things that are going to sustain us in these perilous times. I wish there was more I could say. I wish there was another way I could say it, but that's what it is. Many of us are being called and have been called, and we have ignored the call. Many of us have experienced certain things that we dare not tell our family members or our church members or our friends or even our spouse, for fear of not being believed or being judged or being mocked or being ostracized or whatever. Or we're just afraid of the gift itself, what it takes, what it requires, what it means that we will come into contact with. Some of us are afraid of the entities, the beings, the forces, the spirits that we will meet. Some of us are afraid of knowing people in the way that our gifts allow us to know people. Some of us are afraid of the discipline. Some of us are afraid of having to be responsible for the gift or the gifts. Whatever it is your choice. Whatever it is your prerogative. It is your, you can do with it what you want. But it's there for a reason. Find someone you can speak to about it openly. Find someone who won't judge you. Find someone who will understand, at least to some degree, that what you're experiencing is of divine origin and that it is useful and important. So I guess I'll leave it at that. I love you all. Even those that I have to remove from my friends list. I gotta finish doing that. But that's even something that my gifts are requiring me to do. So, but I love you, and I pray that every person that sees this, every person that watches this will understand and understand why they're watching this and know exactly what I'm talking about deeply within. I'll talk to you soon. Michael Anthony.